If it is love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay
Uno,
on?
dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete episodios in total. The Enlightened Brothers, happy Halloween.
Yeah, man, you know what it is?
We're
It's
here.
Halloween.
A little smile, man.
Yeah.
You took it off though.
Yeah.
Business casual Donatello, some slight.
And if you can see my shirt, if you're on YouTube, sorry for the audio listeners, man. I'm gonna try to make
get
it
close
look
to
as
it,
bit.
get close to
Yeah, I'll get close to the frame. I am a binary star system underneath that smiley face. So yeah, man, we're doing it big for Halloween. This episode, I don't know if it'll come out tonight on Halloween or tomorrow morning, but yeah, man, it's a special day. Halloween's a little different for people in a lot of different states
Yep.
because of COVID.
But you know, we're doing things
We
different too.
we live in Florida, so I don't know if people are changing it up because that's just how Florida does with the COVIDs. But you know, I hope everybody's safe and has fun on Halloween, man. Yeah, so
Today we have something special.
yeah, man.
If you've been keeping up with us for 6 episodes, we've been teasing it, and finally it's here.
Let's go.
Today we have a guest.
And our first guest ever on the Enlightened Brothers podcast.
We don't know.
Who is this? Who is this
Who are you?
unknown figure?
Oh, nice mask, brother.
Yeah, man. Go ahead and
mean,
reveal
go
yourself.
ahead, man.
I don't even know if they know what you're saying.
Enlighten me.
This dude got a raspy voice. Enlighten us, man. What is going on?
Hey, man.
Hey.
Who is this handsome dude?
Hey, man.
Tell him your name, man. Tell the viewers
It
your
is
name.
Cappity Cap Casey.
Cappy
In
Cap
the-
Casey in the building. In
Hey,
the
man.
building.
I'm truly honored to be the first guest on the Enlightened Brothers. Thank you both for having me today.
Of course.
No problem.
Now let me offer some backstory. Before me and Caleb actually created this podcast that we all know, you know, and love.
Yep.
We were first guest stars on our man Casey podcast here.
Yes, sir.
Tell him
That
about
is
your
correct.
podcast. What's the name?
Hey, man, I have a podcast. It's called A Gap in the World.
Shout out A Gap in the World.
I had a few episodes back at the beginning of the year, around May, around then when all this first started happening, and I decided with my extra free time, I started a podcast. And I had Caleb here, Emery here, I had Javon, the ruler there, and a few other people, a few other guest speakers. And I actually brought it back a couple of months ago, and the main centralized topic of the season was about politics and the election and all that. And so I do plan on having another episode come out after the election results happen. And if these two fine gentlemen are willing to be my guest stars on the last few presidential, with their opinions on the last few presidential debates and the winning candidates. So.
Yeah, man. That's what's up.
Just know, if it wasn't for Casey's podcast, then maybe we would be on episode 4 or something. I'm sure me and Caleb would have eventually had the idea, but this really was the catalyst.
By now, we might have been on episode 2. Like, without a gap in the world, man,
Thank you, Casey.
there is no Enlightened Brothers, man. So yeah,
But
man,
we
we
closed the gap in our worlds, man. Here we
yeah,
are.
man. Why is the podcast called A Gap in the World?
Because I have a gap. And
Hey, maybe you guys
Gap
didn't
Brothers.
know either. I have a gap too.
Yeah. Hey, look, you're doing some really special things, man. Yeah, so you're in season 2. I listened to a few episodes, and man, he's talking about some serious stuff, some stuff that needs to be heard, and I hope y'all give it a listen, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Has some similarities to our podcast, but Casey's going places too, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All
I
right.
do plan on continuing.
Well, happy Halloween. Let's get right into the episode. First topic of the day.
Yeah, man. All right, let's introduce this thing. You want to put this somewhere?
Yeah, I'll put this.
All right, yeah. So
Put that down. Put this up.
Little dress, buddy. Let's start.
okay, yeah. So let's get into it while our guest is getting dressed, man. You already know how I do. You know where my head's at. My head is in the stars. My head is in outer space. So the first topic of the day, in tribute to that, NASA found water on the moon. Now, let me clarify. It's not exactly, it's water. It is water. But they found H2O molecules. Now, so don't go telling people that there's rivers and lakes and waterfalls. Like, no, none of that stuff. I would like to first explain how the H2O molecules most likely got there, and then I'll explain the applications. So the H2O molecules were found in the biggest crater in the southern hemisphere on the moon, there's no such thing as the dark side of the moon. Let me tell you that straight up. No such thing as the dark side of the moon.
Really?
The moon gets affected by
So Transformers lied.
Yeah. I don't even know any of that. So the sun shines upon the moon throughout its entirety, but there are certain craters that don't get directly affected by the sun. They're because by the poles. Because the poles of any heavenly body, you see our North Pole, it's super cold. Any poles of any heavenly body, planet, star, whatever, that's where the light will shine the least. So near the poles of the moon, there are going to be some craters who the craters are so high and so deep that they won't be directly affected by the sun. So in that space, they can still have things such as moisture and H2O molecules intact still. So the water wasn't birthed there. We think it's likely they got it from micro meteorites or some type of comet or anything, asteroid crashing into the moon. So it came from somewhere else.
I have another theory.
Yeah.
Perhaps Lance Armstrong spit on the moon. Perhaps.
Yeah, man, Lance Armstrong. But yeah, so this is important because when I think of humanity and us becoming a multiplanetary species, obviously Mars is our first step in colonization. The moon isn't necessarily habitable because, well, it's just a big flying rock. But Mars, there is some potential there. But in order for us to go to Mars efficiently, instead of making these trips that cost so much money directly from Earth to Mars, we can use the moon as a fueling station. So when it comes to terraforming anyway, terraforming is basically our ability to change the environmental aspects of another planet. So not just Mars, any other planet in our solar system, we can have the moon as our first pit stop basically and use it as a fuel station. So, I mean, what do y'all think about that?
I do have a quick question. Mm-hmm. When you mentioned Mars, how long do you think before we will be able to kind of, like, we're advancing in the world and our technology, so we can get to Mars, and we have seen evidence of water on Mars, and that gives us the question: has there ever been life on Mars? Will Mars be able to sustain life? Yeah. So how long do you think before we will be able to kind of
function there?
Yeah, function there, and
well, there's definitely levels to that. Having humans take steps on Mars, I believe that'll happen within the 20s. It's 2020 now, so within the next decade, humans will be walking across Mars, in my opinion. One of my dreams is building humanoid robots to go and walk across Mars. But even if we don't have humanoid robots, we can have like modular robots, like little R2D2 looking things, like rovering around Mars, because we've already had a rover go there. So robots going there is going to be a long process, but setting up a base. Obviously, the people that are going to be there are going to have to always be in space suits. So being in spacesuits and living on a base, that will definitely be happening within the next decade and then 2 decades. Now, when it comes to just walking around willy-nilly, no spacesuit on, I don't know if that's feasible at all. The only way that could be possible is if we terraform it and basically turn Mars into Earth.
Right.
That is certainly possible. But yeah, I definitely think it's within the teens though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me personally, with that whole just freeform walking on Mars, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. Mm-hmm. I think that we might be able to kind of mass send certain groups of people to the planet to maybe harvest some resources if we do discover that there are more resources that would be useful here on Earth. Mm-hmm. But in terms of just kind of living on Mars as we do now, I doubt that will happen even in the next 100 years.
I possibly think that, as many of you know, our Earth is dying. And we're gonna need to take a lot of major steps to somewhat mitigate that. But I think some of these answers will be found on other planets, ways that we can incorporate how their ecosystems and their landscape works to help build on our own. Yeah, and I think that's gonna happen pretty soon as well, because we need to reach a solution.
In
someone.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe not even just planets. I mean, Europa. Europa is a moon of Jupiter. A moon
Uranus?
of Jupiter.
Uranus?
No, not Uranus. Europa. It's a moon of it's a moon of Jupiter, Neptune, or something. Actually, let me fact check it real quick. Yeah, so Europa. It's a moon of Jupiter.
The more you know.
Yeah, we've found that this could be a place that may garner some type of life. It's a moon, but it's nothing like our moon. It's just a body that orbits Jupiter. But, I mean, there's more planets than we could possibly know. There's so many places out there. So,
it's funny how we think of, like, aliens or, like, other life forms just in general living on other planets as thinking, speaking, and, like, functioning similar to that of humans. But in reality, it's like a living life form could just be an amoeba or something that roams the planet.
Yeah,
so.
It's likely that, and we don't even know if it's likely that there are there are aliens out there due to the Fermi paradox and all of that stuff. We can get into that another time. But it's likely that the aliens are something that we can't even perceive. They could communicate through means that wouldn't even come within our conscious. Like, they could be telepathic for all they know. Yeah. They could talk through like for all we know. And they could be huge. They could be small. There's no knowing, man.
And another thing is there are so many solar systems we don't know. There could be another solar system that is literally exactly like ours, or another galaxy that is exactly like this one, where they live the exact same way we live, where they're recording a podcast just like we are right now. We don't know.
And I mean, I'm sure the viewers now know that my motivations are to reach a world that's like pseudo Star Wars. Like, I would definitely want to be a multiplanetary species, and like steps towards that.
That would be cool.
It would be great, but we got a long way to go. But this, like going to the moon and setting our staple there, that's like step one, and then to Mars, and then to infinity and beyond, man.
These interplanetary relationships gonna be hard because how you have racists on your own home planet? How you gonna communicate with other species?
And that is, so that we're twofold there. We're twofold there because, for one, for us to progress as a species, a lot of the stuff within politics and within racial relations, within war, that's just frivolous acts, in my opinion, that they need to be squashed in order for us to progress to for us to reach the potential we have as humans, because many people don't understand, like, the brains that we have been evolved for millions of years of evolution. Like, what we possess, the power we possess now, it's astronomical. We are birthed from the stars, like from energy from there to coalesce and become us. The things that we can do is absolutely amazing. So for us to reach our full potential, we definitely need to settle the things here. Now, also, one of the most unifying things could be finding alien life on another planet, because
that could. I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, because if we find out that there are some aliens, like say there are aliens on Mars and we call them Martians. Well, if they're Martians, we are
humans.
So a lot of people identify themselves as black, white, Asian, whatever.
Reality.
Not. We're all humans.
And I covered that in my last episode. There's only one race, the human race.
The human race. If we find alien life, then me being black and my friend being white won't matter. And it shouldn't matter.
It's like how people unite over a common enemy. It's just, well, speaking theoretically, if they were to be an enemy, but it just brings people together knowing, like, we are of the same.
Right, and just like when our soldiers go into war, they don't think, oh, that's a white soldier, that's a black soldier, Hispanic soldier.
Brothers
we all
in
think
arms.
we're all soldiers.
I like that.
We don't think it's a male soldier, female soldier, all soldiers. We're all one group fighting against the common enemy.
Yeah, man, that's absolutely great. Okay, well, then this has been a long-lived debate on this podcast. Now that we have our first guest here, space or ocean, man?
I knew it.
Space versus ocean, or whatever. Space. Right?
Here's what I'm thinking. They're both very, very big things. I guess you could say.
No,
let him talk.
Wait, no, let me finish. You go ahead. But I am going to have to go with space. And let me tell you why. Let me come back. Let me tell you why.
Walked off stage. That's what we talk about. Yeah.
Let me tell you why. The ocean, there's only so much to it. It's limited to, right now, it's limited to our planet, to Earth. Now, granted, Earth is covered in 70-something% water. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot, but still space extends beyond our solar system, beyond our galaxy. There's more space to explore than there is more ocean. Not to mention, the ocean is more accessible, and we already have a good amount of information from the ocean compared to space, because we have the abilities to go and learn more about it because it is right here, literally within our reach.
I like that. Yeah, because, and just to add on to that, we have 14.8 billion years of a universe to observe. That's way out of our local group. There's a substantial amount of literal space that we have to observe. So, I mean, people say we don't know about the ocean, but, I mean, if we know 10% about the ocean, then we know 0.000000000, almost infinite 1% of space.
But real quick, Emma, let me ask you why you choose ocean over space. Mm-hmm. Seriously.
Where do I start? Let's cover something that is very popularly unknown. The Bermuda Triangle.
Oh my god.
For example. What?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I will.
I'm just gonna count all the things.
Go ahead.
We don't know for the ocean.
The Bermuda Triangle. How and why does it suck people into the ocean or wherever they go? Maybe they're in an alternate plane of existence. Who knows? Amelia Earhart, gone. Countless other pilots gone and ships, and we have no question we have no answer for it, so that begs a lot of questions. 2, Atlantis. Does it exist? Perhaps in the deep blue sea. Nobody knows. And personally, Atlantis is more interesting than, I'd say, Saturn to me.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
No. Guest. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm using my pass, and I just wanna understand things that are closer to us before I start venturing out. Was this in episode 1 when
Boring.
Hey,
not
okay.
boring.
Let me paint a picture.
I'm not about to get tag team.
Let me paint a picture for the universe. Well, you're getting tag team right now, man. Because look, let me paint a picture for the audience. Let's say us three are cavemen. Emery is the caveman that doesn't want to leave the cave, so we can.
Doesn't want to leave the cave.
Yes,
you don't even know about the depths of the cave. Quit talking about me. You need to understand the cave that you exist in before you venture into the world.
No, that's so limited.
Okay, but we don't exist. But we don't exist in the ocean.
We'll never get it.
We don't exist in the ocean. Now, real quick about what you were saying about the. But real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick, what you were saying about discovering Atlantis? Me personally, I don't think it would be that hard to discover, or not hard, but it wouldn't take that long for us to discover if there was Atlantis.
Then why haven't we done it?
You know why? You know why? Because it's not there. Because the science.
It's not?
The science that we have now to pick up certain waves and things going on under the sea, dude, there is no Atlantis down there. There's nothing there. And if it is, they're not going to look like Aquaman and being humans like us.
I didn't say nothing about Aquaman.
Well, then what kind of Atlantis
there may
do
be
you want?
unknown civilizations that we don't know of yet.
They won't be significant as to a civilization. We'll see.
Who are you to say? You don't know.
For all you know, Atlantis.
I know the science that we have would be able to detect something like that.
If anything,
Perhaps.
Atlantis could just be a big group of fish.
Right.
Word.
Maybe.
No.
But you don't know.
And
that's the joy in it, the unknown.
The
space has a lot of unknown, but I'd rather know the unknown that we have closer to us before we venture off to find the unknown farther.
All I hear is limits, man. But well then let me also add this on. Let's say you want to explore the ocean. What about if a comet's coming in the next 50 years? You're gonna have to either find a way to deflect that comet that's within space travel and spatial science, or we're gonna have to leave. So our time on Earth is certainly limited. In that little ocean that we have on Earth here doesn't compare to what oceans we might be able to find in this universe that we have.
First of all, you're reaching, buddy.
How is that reaching?
Because obviously obviously because that's going to be our priority if there's a comet coming.
And we know that there's
space.
going to be a comet coming.
So yes, of course, I'd agree that we need to rely on space.
Okay.
But that's in this scenario.
Okay.
Right now, when we don't have any our main focus right now, we don't have any threats coming from outer space that are as threatening as what we have right now, global warming.
Okay.
I believe the answer may be found on Earth.
Right.
How?
Right, but what does that have to do
How?
with
sea,
the ocean?
man.
What in the ocean is going to solve? Okay, sure. Whatever.
No,
I'll let you
not
have
sure.
that. How about this? List me some benefits, because we can go tit for tat on this. List me some benefits we can get from the ocean. And actually, even if not just you, I challenge anybody to sit in this chair right here and list the benefits right now. List some benefits that we can have from the ocean. Maybe unknown, so I'll give you that point. But list me some benefits. Okay.
Hydro energy, one.
Nothing near nuclear fusion.
Nuclear fusion, that's yours?
If you're talking about energy, yes.
Okay.
Nothing near the efficiency of nuclear fusion. Next. Materials, space mining. Next.
Bro, you already came. He already came knowing what he wanted to talk about.
What do you mean? No, I
wasn't
didn't.
expecting
I know about space.
I wasn't expecting
Residency, multiplanetary species, traveling, space travel. Next.
Unknown organisms. That applies to basic. That applies to space
That applies to both.
to space as well.
So we'll just take that off the list. Cancel it out.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Even if
It still applies.
Any unidentified organism in the ocean we know is a carbon living, oxygen consuming organism. In space we could have organisms that live off of freaking ethanol. Like no. Tit for tat, man. We can go tit for tat.
No.
The greatest scientists of all time, where did they get their ideas from? Einstein, where did he get general relativity from? Copernicus, Galileo. The best scientists of all time, man. We look up.
Emery just looking at you.
The
right
best
now,
We look up.
scientists.
The greatest, the most, and I'm not going to put one scientist over the other. Of course not. I'm not
I
trying
will.
to do that here.
Because the one that will change everything is the one that will break the mold.
What?
The one that will change everything is the one that will understand not only what we have here, but what we have beyond.
Okay, Nicholas Copernicus broke the mold because the Catholic Church and everybody.
I don't even know who that is.
And everybody.
Enlighten me.
Let me come. He's the person that but he's the person that revealed heliocentrism. He's the person that said we circulate around the sun, not some silly geocentrism that everybody revolves around the earth and that we're some perfect being. No. The most storied scientists, man, we looked up.
All right. Well, what I will tell you is that the most storied individual will not be just somebody that looks up, but looks all around them.
Okay.
So I believe that space. I'm not saying that it's not interesting.
Well, this
at
is a
all,
this is a
because there's so
versus.
many-
This is a versus, so we have to pick
Man, you
between
just
one.
sprung it on me.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay ocean no matter what because
Uh-huh.
I just want to understand what's nearest to me, and I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point.
Yeah.
But I just want to do that.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand that standpoint, but I mean, excuse me, bro. We went tit for tat, man. I just don't see how it compares, man. I don't see how it compares. But let's move on from this. I talk about a lot of science fiction, and I talk about my optimal view on interstellar travel. But to Casey and Emery, use your imagination. What is the perfect I don't know, what's your perfect picture of humans' interaction with our galaxy, man, in our universe? What do you think?
When you ask that question, you mean with other life beings,
I mean, I'm completely opening the door to you. If it was perfect, what would we discover?
In terms of resources?
It could be resources. It could be us moving to Mars and having 2 different planets living. It could be us going out further and finding some other species and interacting with them. It could be us conquering the whole universe. I'm just interested in seeing how people that aren't as into this stuff as me
Just
view
renewable energy.
Well, when I think about it, I think about those sci-fi movies where you just have everything is kind of, you have the floating trains and the floating cars.
Yeah.
You have all the blue and purple, like those colors that you think of, and everything's renewable, easily accessible water, all that. Just kind of futuristic stuff. That's what I think when I think perfect.
Yeah,
Because
just renewable energy would be finding something that we can
teleport from here to there.
I can talk about teleportation.
Use on Earth that wouldn't take away from our natural resources as much as it does now, and it would make our planet much sustainable for longer than it will be at this current rate.
So your view on it is looking out further to enhance what we have here on Earth. Yeah, I can see that. Well, then we definitely need to invest in some renewable energy because we're obviously killing our planet now. But yeah, there's a lot of things we can do. I mean, there's a conceptualization of something called a Dyson sphere. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with what a Dyson sphere is, but a Dyson sphere, if I was unclear, it's a contraption that basically covers the sun and uses this energy. It collects energy from the sun directly, and it also reflects its beams back on Earth, concentrating its energy on Earth, giving us energy. So there's things such as that. But, yeah, it's interesting. So y'all really view it as just really enhancing the Earth as an entity. My kind of difference is, I mean, y'all know where I roll. I want to go ahead and venture out. So, I mean, yes, step one is definitely sustaining what we have here on Earth. But then from that, I think we should definitely go and start inhabiting other planets.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
About the Dyson sphere thing, though, you said it surrounds the sun and it concentrates some of its energy to Earth.
Yes.
Wouldn't that kind of contribute to global warming? Because a lot of the sun's radiation is what builds up the ozone layer.
Yeah, right. So the issue there is global warming is that we get the heat from the sun, but then it can't get back out.
Right.
That's the issue.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It getting through, but the more of it getting through, there's none of it going back out in return.
Yeah.
Or there's less going back out.
That's a great point. Well, by the time we're able to construct the Dyson sphere, Casey, we won't have any issues with global warming anymore. That's for one. If humanity progresses to the point where it can even send any machinery that close to the sun, we won't be dealing with global warming problems.
That's
right. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That's definitely a fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So what I'd say is we need to develop some counteractive measures before we engage in these planet-changing ventures.
Oh, things such as Dyson sphere and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, yeah, man. I mean, there's lots of things we can do. Like, just always looking out. Like, this is something I wanted to talk about because we didn't even bring up we've been gone for 2 weeks. We didn't even bring that up to the audience. Yeah, sorry for that.
Oh, yeah.
But this is what I wanted. Me and Emery planned on doing an episode last week, but we decided to delay. This is what I was originally wanting to talk about. Are y'all familiar with wormholes?
Kind of.
And yeah, somewhat.
We know that the universe is basically constructed of space-time. Space-time it's a four-dimensional. We live in a four-dimensional universe. We have X, Y, Z, which is depth, and then we have time, which moves in one direction. And with the finding of space-time, we've found a lot of things. We know that the biggest constant that governs our universe is the speed of light. The speed of light is 3 times 10 to the 8 meters per second. Light is how we perceive reality. Light is what, through evolution, is how when light bounces off something and it reflects back into our retinas, that's how we perceive anything. That's how we know that we are a being. But basically, through space-time, we know we found, and I don't want to get too broad, we found that the faster you can either the faster you move through space, you move the slower you move through time. So that's what came from time travel. So in order to travel great distances, because we know that space is like super expansive. So one way of doing interstellar space travel would just be traveling near light speed.
Right.
But if we travel near light speed, we're going to be moving slower through time. So if I travel 88% the speed of light, which is crazy. It's a crazy number. And we're not even near that yet. But if I travel 88% the speed of light, 26 years for you is 13 years for me, roughly, something like that. I saw it in a YouTube video. So that would kind of get rid of the point of traveling to all these great places because we can't be an interconnected universe. Like, we can't communicate. So we're going to have to learn how to traverse space by, like, basically through skipping time. And that is what a wormhole is. So I wish I had a diagram. I'll probably, you know what? I learned how to put photos on the screen. So hopefully I'll edit this and put a photo of like the space-time bend and what a wormhole is right here. I'm pointing to it. But yeah, so
sorry,
basically,
audio listeners.
Yeah, sorry, audio listeners. But basically what space-time is, it's like, if you fold space-time over, a wormhole is a connection in between. So you can get from this spot where we are now to somewhere across the universe in a time that is nowhere near the time it would take, the billions of years it would take to get across the universe. You can get there within like however powerful your wormhole is. So what I pictured the Earth as, and if there's not other species out there already, what I pictured the Earth as is like kind of a wormhole hub. So, and I'm sure I can also put a picture of that, but like you go out of space and then like there's a wormhole here to go to this planet and there's a wormhole here to go to this planet. And we can have this for our solar system too. It doesn't have to be for outer things, but I mean, like, do y'all think that's like a cool idea? Like,
so portals.
I think that would definitely be cool.
Yeah, portals. That's an easier way of thinking of it.
I think that would be cool, but how long before we would be able to do that? That's the question.
That's why I want to live for multiple centuries.
Yeah, this is just theoretical at this point, but I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah, I'm sure that
it's certainly theoretical.
because
we can do it though.
Because I mean, like we already established, our Earth is dying, but it will be long. I think it will be alive long enough for us to see enough technological advancement to see that happen.
Oh, yeah.
Or even kind of see it in its early testing stages.
I believe so. Yeah.
So
I mean, we've already been going at this for about 30 minutes, but yeah, man, just like some points to end this off, and we got from water on the moon to interstellar space travel and wormholes. But yeah, like what we need is like solving the riffraff we have between humans here. That's definitely a big thing. And then we need the engineering aspects to be able to build things such as the Dyson spheres and the spaceships that we're going to need. And then we need the theoretical knowledge and the mathematics. And building on those three things, man, we got some great things coming ahead.
All right. Next topic.
Yeah, man. Take it away.
I'm going to open a little bubble. I'm going to branch off of here for maybe future podcasts. I'll touch maybe back on it a little bit. But this is cyber warfare and deep web and like just criminals and like basically crimes on the internet. Right now, we recently had a ransomware attack with the Rook ransomware, and it was the TrickBot Trojan.
Okay, wait, real quick. Do you know what ransomware is?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, explain to them, the viewers.
Ransomware is basically what it sounds like. Ransom software. It's basically when these internet criminals take over various websites or technological-based companies, their technology, and they take it for ransom. They take it for hostage, and they
want something in return.
Yeah,
you explained it perfectly. Yeah.
Basically, in these, just recently, dozens of hospitals in the U.S. got hit with a ransomware attack, like I said before, by this Ryuk ransomware with the Trojan. The TrickBot Trojan, and it shut down all of their software. And COVID-19 cases have been spiking, so this is really crazy. And they're thinking that it's from a Russian, as you know, the U.S. and Russia are not on exactly the greatest of terms.
Say, everybody blames Russia for everything.
Yeah, but
nowadays.
The FBI is recently thinking it's Russia that's staging these attacks on these U.S. hospitals. But basically, the hospitals their software and their tech in the hospitals are shut down, so they're moving to completely paper only. And a a lot of patients are having to reschedule. So the medical officials, they can't do their proper work.
Wow. Well, Casey, with your esteemed political view, how does this affect politics in your idea, man?
Now, real quick, what I was gonna say is that kind of reminds me of that one Grey's Anatomy episode where they were being ransomed.
Grey's Anatomy. Hold on. You a Grey's Anatomy fan?
Yes.
Give me
Yes.
some.
I watched that show. I watched it. I actually watched it the second time
Allow me to.
during
These
quarantine.
If you guys didn't know, I've watched about seven. It's on the 17th season. Yeah, 17 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
These guys.
Pretty.
Man.
Hey, it's a good show.
All right. Well,
good.
but your political view, yes. This is why you're here. You go.
So my political views on ransomware. Well, like we already established, they think it's Russia, but I don't think that it is. I haven't done much research on this. I didn't really know that this was something that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But what it sounds like to me is if it's over 24 U.S. hospitals, I just don't think that we are in a place where our security, technologically and still like physical security is good. It's strong, and we can kind of keep the intruders out. So I think that we have enough technology to keep other countries from kind of accessing
So you think
our
it's an
data.
inside job?
So I do think that it's an inside job because
Conspiracizing. Let's go.
So then what do you think this will do to the national perception on like COVID cases being reported?
Well, hold on. First off, this ransomware attack is one of the craziest that we've ever seen because it's actually putting people's lives at risk.
Yeah.
right, and it's also going to hurt the economy.
True that.
And honestly, the economy is kind of, whenever you think politics, you think the political effects, the social effects, and the economic effects. We learned this in school.
Yeah.
And of those three, the biggest is probably the economic effects. Always, it will always be the economic.
Everybody's
effects.
about their money.
But in this one, it's actually surprising because it's more about the social effects. Because like you were saying, that you have the COVID aspect, and the COVID cases are rising, and people are getting increasingly sick, and they can't really do as much about it because their systems are compromised.
And this provides the hospitals more. I'm not sure if they've gone through with whatever the hackers are demanding, but this would give them more incentive to abide by what the hackers are saying, unless they want to leave everything to the FBI, which I'm sure the FBI would want them to do.
Wow.
But yeah, most of the hospitals are going paper only for now.
Right, but that's another problem. The FBI, I'm not going to discredit the FBI. The FBI does a good job. However, whenever it comes to any serious matter that involves the FBI, sometimes there's so much going on whenever the FBI or SWAT or any of those big name groups come in that they tend to miss the small details. So like if you have your local police investigation, they're more likely probably to find the source of what happened in a quicker time than the FBI, because the FBI, they're thinking whenever you bring the FBI in, it's like a big scale thing, like it's the big gun. So they're going to be thinking outside of the box when it might actually be inside the box, and so that's the issue, is that they might be thinking too big brain instead of more simple minded. In my opinion,
For this case, I would think that it is a matter of national security because
Definitely.
know, like I said before, not on the friendliest terms. We're Russia, and they're gonna the U.S. What are we, number 2 country? Are we the leading country in terms of COVID cases? Regardless, we're down bad. We're down super bad, and this is one of the elections coming up, and I don't think this is a time where the government or any of these social security agencies can possibly take the time to allow for any slips through the cracks. Because the other countries are searching that the other countries that aren't allies of the U.S. and are looking to gain power are searching for slips in the cracks. And for this case, I don't know if it could be left to local government agencies or like just local police departments because of the severity of the cases.
Yeah, man. I don't know. This seems to warrant and I haven't, Emery's enlightening me today. I had no idea about this thing. So this seems, but from what y'all are saying, it seems like it needs some really high tech, like cybersecurity. Like, we need them boys to come in and do their thing. So, I mean, whether it's FBI, whether we have like some local guy that is like tech genius that can kind of thwart these tech tyrants, as we like to call them. But I mean, if this is Russia, that will start to make things a little shaky.
But another thing, I'm sorry, Emery. Another thing is whether or not it's Russia. Our main problem with cybersecurity is how advanced it is. So we have people whose sole jobs, there are two sides of it. They either try and break into our security, like as a test of security, and then you have the people who make the security. But the issue with that is you're giving them all the knowledge, everything that they need to be able to hack into the system.
So you're saying corruption, yeah.
Corruption, if they decide that they want to commit treason, it would literally be at their fingertips. As long as they have a computer, they may not even need Wi-Fi access if they're that advanced.
Yeah,
they could literally expose every single secure thing about the United States.
It's like me and Caleb, we're taking an accounting class right now, and our teacher recently gave an example of accountants and like professional sports players being taken advantage of because they don't understand the money that they're dealing with, and accountants can easily slip the money their way. So I think that really applies in this case, because let's think of from the perspective of these computer software engineers and these code designers. If you're, let's say they're not getting, I don't know their average income, but I'm sure it's not like in the six figures yet.
Starting
out.
Yeah. At least 120.
Okay. All right. Well, you're giving the money that they could possibly get exceeds this by so much.
Absolutely.
So you're one of these software engineers, and you have the knowledge to possibly try to manipulate people without them even knowing. And even if they do find out, you're just above them so much that you could possibly pull it off. Now, why wouldn't you? I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a criminal.
I mean, what's stopping you?
But what's stopping you? If you don't have a strong moral code and you don't really care for others, I mean, given the opportunity,
I see where you're coming from, man.
And
you
that's
gotta get the money.
And that's the problem. I feel like it is an endless cycle. No matter what we do, we cannot make our cybersecurity secure, because even if we construct robots to come up with algorithms, somebody has to make the robots. Somebody has to make the robots to make the robots. So there will always be somebody.
I mean, yeah, we roll that dice anytime. That's just what trust is. Anytime you put somebody in a position of responsibility, that's the chance you take that they could just come back for you. That's why we have checks and balances. That's why there's got to be people and if we have, and this is my issue with conspiracies across the board. Let's say we have this corrupt person. For them to make that act, or let me I'm gonna edit that out. This is what I'm trying to say. My issue with conspiracies is that for something to go wrong within the government that way, you need a mass amount of people with the same idea, thinking the same thing, and everybody's corrupted. That's going to be 10. Like, that's going to be in factors of 10.
Okay, but let's be honest. That's not hard. We already have cults. I mean, you have the KKK.
Yeah.
They all have the same mindset, the same message. They do not like this group of people. So it's not hard to find people who think the same way, because a lot of people just.
I think that supports the lizard man conspiracy.
Let me say this. I don't want to make myself look bad or anything, but thinking from the perspective of these bad people, manipulation is easy. You just put something on the table. You just put something on the table, offer it to somebody, and I say this all the time, and not to this extent, but a person who's lost everything has nothing to lose.
Okay.
And everything to gain.
Yeah.
So if you offer a starving dog some food and say, go kill somebody for it, I'm sure they're not going to want to die themselves. And that's where human greed and selfishness comes into play.
Yeah, man, that's wild.
Groupthink isn't hard when you offer everybody something that there's a merit to.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't know.
There was a term for that. I forgot what it was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a natural skeptic of that. But you know what? What do we know? We have no way of knowing. I'm into coding, but I'm not as far as I want to be into it. I'm definitely more AI based. But when it comes to cybersecurity, with my knowledge, I think I've talked about this in a past episode, but quantum computing is an idea. So, I mean, there's lots of steps we can take, but as we progress how secure we are, like Casey said, the more secure we can get, also the more skilled the attackers get. So it's a tough situation, man.
It's a paradox. The more secure we are, the less secure we are.
Yeah, it's very paradoxical, man. But yeah, is that all we got for this, man?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely talk more about just these corrupt officials. I want to make one more comment.
Okay.
Why do you guys think it is that on the news and media in general, we see so many reports of politicians, senators, people in high government positions just doing something wrong or getting caught in the act of something? And it's only really these people in positions of power.
Human frailty.
First of all, these people, like, I'll just call us average citizens. We don't have the access to receive this type of power.
Yeah.
And the people that are in those positions of power, I'm sure they had to make various sacrifices to get them. But once you're up on that pedestal, you're going to always be able to access more, because when you're up there, your opportunities, just doors open for you. Yeah. And
people change. I believe people change. But when you have something deep in your core like that and you get to that power, certain things like money reveals your insecurities. Like, certain things will come to fruition. But, you know, a wise man, the wisest man I know, he once said, with great power comes great responsibility. That's Uncle Ben from Spider-Man. And, I mean, that just highlights what you said there, man. The people in power, they have a great responsibility. So if they are nasty people, then they might do nasty things.
They're not necessarily. I don't
not
want to
nasty,
call them
but
nasty
underhanded.
People. No. They are nasty people, but I don't want to call them nasty people, because not everybody starts out nasty. There's something that led them to become the way they are. I'm not going to name drop anybody, but, you know, just those people, when you have access to things you want, greed is very powerful. I'd say it's one of the most powerful emotions that could, we're getting attacked by birds. Yeah. One of the most powerful emotions that could overcome someone. Yeah. Because it just blinds you from seeing what you really want in reality. It just puts something in front of you, and you reach for it instead of looking for what's beyond.
Right, and that actually, what you were saying about, like, people in power getting exposed for their faults and whatnot, it's something that I like to call being ignorantly intelligent. And I'm not talking about those people in those positions of power. I'm talking about the people who put those people in the positions of power. So you can be ignorant enough to vote somebody who should not be put in office. And I'm just saying, using this as an example, this has nothing to do with any current political affiliations. If you ignorantly put somebody who obviously should not be in office, yet they do something they should not have done, and you realize that they should not have done it, it's also a paradox, because you realize that you thought that they were going to be the good fit for the position, yet all this other stuff lines up against them. So if it makes any sense, for example, so say you have a presidential candidate. He was accused of rape, he was accused of theft, he was accused of a whole bunch of other stuff. You notice, you understand this. You say, this candidate is not good for these reasons.
Unfit.
He is unfit to be president because of all the bad things he does. His interests are obviously not in the best of other people. Okay. If he's out raping other people. Yet you think that what he will do for the country outweighs that. See, that's ignorant. That's ignorant, because you think you're focusing on the wrong thing. Obviously,
are you referring to anybody by chance?
No.
Okay.
I was
just
said
theft. I don't know if anybody stole. But,
I didn't know. I was just wondering.
No, I wasn't. It was literally the first thing that came to my mind when I was making the example.
Cool.
But I mean, it's literally, that's just what it is. It's somebody being ignorantly intelligent. So they're ignorant enough to put them in, yet they already know why they should not have been put in the first place, if that makes any sense.
Allow me to say this. I want to put this out there. There's a common thing that people always say, and it's why must we choose the lesser of two evils?
Mm-hmm.
And
We've talked about that a lot.
Yeah, and I don't really like when people say that. I mean, it is true, but that is because the pool that we're exposed to is only full of evil. We're exposed to the pool of candidates that is just evil. So I don't really like the term the lesser of two evils being used, because that's all we really have. And to go into like the emotional aspect of it, I feel that these negatives such as hate and just evil-natured people are easier to be than those of positive-natured people, because it doesn't take much to hate somebody, to be consumed by it. But it takes a good person with a good core to not only be accepting of those somebody's faults, but be forgiving of them and to look beyond. So what you were saying before, Casey, about the people ignoring the negatives of a person and saying like the positives outweigh them when they may not.
Yeah.
I think that's what must be done, because nobody's perfect. I'm not saying that rape or theft, like in the example that you gave, or anything that should be like accepted of in any way, but it's what is this person bringing to the table for you that should be accepted of. But yeah, we do need more people, good-hearted people that are candidates, but you got to work with what you got.
And what you're talking about there with like looking at the benefits and looking at only the benefits and not thinking about the like just trying to find a benefit. Anyway, and y'all were trying to find the term for that. I just remember that's like called the any benefit clause or something like that. But yeah, my perspective on it, in the world, I don't necessarily. I'm still searching to try and find and see my perception on good and evil. I don't know. I mean, there's obvious evils, but at the same time, is there? Everybody is living within their own personal universe. Everybody's living within their own reality. We don't know for a fact that we all see the same things. So, and we definitely don't all think the same things. There's never going to be a candidate that for every single issue that we agree with. So that's that. So we don't, there's necessarily not a good way to get past that. But the only way to combat having bad candidates, I believe, it's addressing the like, I don't want to call it a fiasco, but like the extravaganza of the presidential, like the primaries and stuff like that. What people want is a show. What people want is charisma. They want flair. They want big topics that are like a slogan that they're going to be able to attach to. To be honest, I don't know how Biden got there. Maybe we just didn't have a lot of candidates, because he, frankly, just, in my opinion, I don't see like, and I'm not saying he's bad. I don't see like the big theme or anything like that. I think his theme is just, his theme is just
the everyman.
Not Trump. His theme is not Trump. So yeah, that is his big theme. His big theme is, if you don't like Trump, vote for me. That's where he's going. Trump had
if you don't vote for me.
Yeah, and it is working. Trump had build a wall, or
MAGA.
Make America Great Again. Like, and whatever you think about it, Make America Great Again is like the greatest slogan of all time. Like, they put it on a red hat. It's marketed great, and
hold on, that makes it the greatest of all time.
No, let me finish. That's funny. They've marketed it great, and I mean, now everybody has Make America This Again, Make America This Again. I saw in South Carolina they were talking about Make Men Men Again, and I was like, God, I was like, dang, y'all going crazy with Make Men Men Again.
That didn't even make sense. What?
Toxic masculinity. That's what it is. Make Men Men Again. Dang. But yeah, like that was great marketing. But yeah, I don't really know. Casey, and after this we'll wrap it up. But yeah, what do you think is our direction in creating our best pool of candidates?
I don't know if there ever will be.
Okay.
And let me explain why. Because like how in my last episode I covered racism and discrimination, racism has advanced, and it's actually somehow it looks like it's getting worse in some situations. Now, overall, big picture, it is definitely getting a lot better since the 1800s and since discrimination against African Americans and Jews and all that. Yet there are still some aspects that are getting worse. And like I said, racist people now are going to be racist people forever because that's the way they feel. You cannot make people feel a different way. You can't change the way somebody feels. It's just that simple. So in terms of creating a better pool, I think. And then racist people, like we already said, they're not born racist. They're influenced by the generations before them. So if our pool of candidates is influenced by like future candidates, if our pool of future candidates is influenced by people with racist ideologies, then it will be racist. That won't get any better. Okay. But we need to have our future candidates need to be truly good-hearted people who do not let the ideologies of other people influence them, but they need to be able to make decisions for themselves. They need to be able to understand what they feel for themselves. They need to be able to make those judgments by themselves without the influence of others. Because I don't agree, for example, with my parents on every single issue. And that's fine because I have my opinions. They have their opinions. We respect each other's opinions, and that's all right. Because if I let all of their opinions influence me, then I'd be basically the exact same person they were. And that's not – and everybody's unique. Everybody's different. So not you different. Everybody is different. So that's what makes us us. And so I think that we just need to be able to figure out who we are for ourselves in order to have that good pool of candidates. Because overall, the reason people are racist is because they're of the influence of other people on them.
No, I don't want to move on real quick. I have one thing to say. Okay. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm completely polar opposite of your beliefs because you said that you don't think there will ever be a solution, but what's the name of our country?
My bad.
What's the name of our country, Casey? Let me help me.
United States of America. Okay, well, yeah, I did say at first that I don't think there would be a solution, but then I kind of think that my explanation kind of countered that. I think that, like I said, if everybody learns to think for themselves and kind of make their judgments for themselves, then we will definitely be in a better place.
I think that'll be even harder.
Well, then now go ahead and ask your question.
What's the name of our country?
United States of America.
What's the first word? United. So the people that founded our country were originally oppressed in Europe. So they went to Jamestown, and they founded the numerous states that we live in. And I hear a lot of people say that they believe America is the greatest country in the world, and I wholeheartedly disagree. But I do believe that it has the potential to be the greatest, and that comes from the first word in the country's name, United.
Real quick, what country is better than America? Real quick.
All right, hold on.
I'm trying to figure it out because
how many countries do you know?
Canada. Nothing's wrong with Canada.
Nothing's wrong with Canada except for living in 20 degrees frigid.
I'm from Alaska. I don't care about the cold.
And you're projecting yourself across every other person.
All right, wait.
If Canada was in the spot of Florida where we are now,
save the Canada slander. All right. Until I'm done with what I'm saying.
I think we should just edit this out.
No. Unity is what will bring everybody together, uniting over a common goal. Now, it is hard to completely it is impossible, to completely erase the irrationalities that human beings will have. But there is a way that we can make it work, and that's because that's just from unification of ideals, unification of emotions, and understanding each other on a better level. So as long as the positive people outweigh the negative, then we will always succeed.
I understand that. Well, within politics, I feel like the division comes from parties. And I've said this before, and a lot of people kind of...
I don't like the party system.
Well, yeah, I don't necessarily like the party system either, but... and I heard this last night from a friend, but she was basically talking about how the party system is inevitable because she was talking about how if you're trying to find people with the same ideas as you, that's the definition of a party. So she was exactly right in that perspective. But what it's created with the media and it's just created Democrats versus Republicans. The word versus is what creates the issue. So 9 questions in politics, right? 4 that they say Democrat, 4 that they say Republican. There's that one question left, right? that one question, which is what puts them in whatever party, right? So then let's say they answer that one question as a Republican. So they're a Republican now. There's a Democrat across the world that doesn't know them at all, but thinks they're just some racist person that doesn't care about people just because they're Republican. They think that there's somebody that doesn't want to wear a mask just because they're a Republican. They think all of these things just because they are subscribed to a party, even though they agree on these other 4 topics, and it's just one topic that separates them. So
let me say, irregardless
I agree with
of
that.
gender or race, the other single biggest label that you could put on somebody in America is their political party standing.
right.
And that will completely sweep and change how people view you.
Right.
Right, and that's our problem today is that we're focused on just the small insignificant things. Like, why does it matter whether or not you're Democratic or Republican? Why does it matter if you support Biden and Harris and Trump and Pence? That does not matter. What matters is you as a person, because I have a few friends who, we can have civilized political conversations. And while we're still friends, even though some of our views may differ on certain topics, that doesn't change anything. What matters is who you are as a person. I don't think that your political views should define you. That's what I'm saying.
Not completely, but I do say that some of your views depending on what they do.
Yeah, depending on the
Well,
topic.
your views do define you, but
to an extent.
To an
Yeah,
extent.
to an extent,
Yeah,
depending
so
on the
far.
topic, I guess.
Absolutely. That's great. Y'all good on that?
Yeah.
I am.
All right. So, what we're gonna do with every guest that comes, well, maybe every guest, but with the majority of guests, guests that are as good as Casey right here. This is why he's been our first guest.
Found it.
We want to have them bring a topic of their own. So, hey, man.
Floor is yours.
So just like how
brother.
just like how Caleb is involved in space and technology and all that, he wants to know all the answers to the big questions. My thing is economics and money. I kind of there are questions I just don't want to know the answers to about our economy, especially, and money. Like, for example, why can't everything be free? I understand there's an answer to that, and that's something that I'm gonna have to further research. One of the things I wanted to talk about today was free market capitalism. So there are those who are in favor of free market capitalism and those who are in favor of economic regulation. Now, free market, as Google defines it, is a system in which the prices for goods and services are self-regulated by the open market and consumers.
Private sector.
Yes. And then you have a regulated market where everything is controlled by the government. It's kind of
Public
supply and demand, public sector.
Public
right.
sector, yep.
So, and then you have pros and cons to a free market system. So, like, the pros are it contributes to political and civil freedom because you can choose the prices for your goods and stuff. So, like, most companies they choose the prices for their goods, but it still has to be based on what the government regulates for the economy to be just where it is, if that makes any sense.
Because we are a mixed economy.
But yeah, that plus, you also have competitive businesses, so everything kind of has to line up with each other. So that's why, like, Walmart's toilet paper isn't $20 cheaper than Target's toilet paper, because then there would be no purpose in having Target toilet paper. So that's the regulation. That's an example of regulation right there. It also contributes to economic growth and transparency, free market, because you can control your prices of your goods and services. It helps because consumers will more likely want to buy your stuff, and that will help the economy. I guess I don't really understand how that's not a benefit for both, but and then it ensures competitive markets, which they both do. So that's another thing. However, there are some disadvantages of it. Like one of the bigger ones is unemployment, because with a free market, you lose a lot of jobs from, like, the elderly and the children because they are not needed.
Yes, they're not as fit as some other worker may be.
Right, because with everything being regulated, you need people to
Gotta hit
hold
a quota
the job to regulate and all that. But if it's not regulated, then there's just those extra jobs that we have now that aren't needed. So that's another reason why we're regulated, is so we can create those jobs.
All right.
So what do both of you think in terms of free market versus regulated market?
Well, I'll go first. I've just gotten into economics. I'm in my senior year, so I'm taking my economics class. I wasn't necessarily in it before, but I'm kind of just got really interested into it recently. And so far, I'm big capitalism, man. Honestly. And I know that, and I'll put my views out there with what capitalism does from a scientific standpoint, and me as somebody who wants to progress our scientific institutions and our technological companies. What the free market induces is competition. And as you were talking about with the prices and why they aren't so different is because they want to appease the consumer. So what the free market does, it reflects the needs of the ones who buy, contributes to innovation. So with more competition, the company's pure bottom line is like Krusty Krab, like the customer's always right. Like they want to do what the customer wants the most. Mm-hmm. So you have somebody like you have two different companies, let's say SpaceX and Amazon's space company like Deep Blue or something like that. They're competing to further space travel because that's what their consumers want. Now, when it comes to government regulation, what their strength is, with like nationalized industry and stuff like that, it's to help those who are like extremely poor. It's to help those that aren't as high on the economic spectrum as others may be, and it also helps like not get rid of monopolies because when you were talking about you said Walmart having $20 toilet paper as opposed to like Target having $1 toilet paper. Like obviously nobody's gonna buy the $20 toilet paper, but if Target was gone and there was just Walmart would be able to charge however much they want for toilet paper, and people would still have to buy it because
like how we said
it's a necessity.
Like like with the politics.
Yeah,
right. I'll connect this. Like the pool that we have is simply two people that aren't, you could argue, are trash candidates.
Yeah,
and when you only have these two candidates, who else can you choose?
You have to choose. It's an inelastic, it's an inelastic situation.
Yep.
Like you have no way of,
flexibility.
There's no flexibility. So you got to buy this toilet paper. You got to elect these officials. So if it was true free market and there was no government intervention, then we would have a monopoly and they would be able to charge whatever they want for toilet paper and just crucify consumers. So, just to sum mine up, because I don't want to talk about this forever, but I think mixed economy is always the way to, definitely the way to go. But I side more on the free market capitalism side. As I said in my paper, I just wrote an essay on this topic basically, and I said the optimal point of the economy is a coalescence between free market capitalism and government intervention. But
right. And after Emery gets his view, I want to say something.
Yeah, I think a mixed. He said he was leaning towards free market, and I have to take the exact same stance. A mixed economy is the perfect type of economy that, at least that we have thought of. I'm not.
Yeah.
Maybe there's I don't know. Yeah. But a perfect blend, because without the consumers and the buyers and just standard everyday people, without their wants and needs, there's not going to be any innovation. There's not going to be any changes. People aren't going to get what they want, and that's not how you make a happy society, happy communities. But
I was just going to say real quick, what free market does, this is another point I'm going to get out, and Casey was talking about why elderly and children aren't being basically hired, is because also another government's bottom line is, or not government, another business's bottom line is efficiency. So with free market economy and with like private businesses, they're able to be more effective. They can get their ideals out. So if it's a private company that wants to do this specific thing for the public, they can get it done quick because they get their money through private means, as opposed to a government-controlled entity getting their money through tax and tax allocation, which is a process that can't be changed off the drop of a penny. Go ahead.
But the perfect utopia of a society would be ones where the government abides to the wants and needs of the people. The people get what they want and they need, and they're able to reciprocate that by helping to support the government, and they work in unison. And basically, I think a mixed economy is the perfect form of that when it's done correctly. And usually the government is at fault when it's not going as it should be.
Yeah.
By the definition of a mixed economy, and that's when greed gets into play. When economies just want to further grow, and yeah, an economy should have growth and prosper, but that can be done. It won't be done as quick as when the government does a lot of intervention and does things in their own way to promote things that they believe that the consumers would want and need, and society would want and need, without when they should be listening to them instead.
So within the mixed economy, and then you can go, my fault. Within the mixed economy, are you leaning towards a certain side, like socialism or capitalism? No, you're just like right dead
Mixed
center.
economy.
Dead center, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
And I kind of agree with Emery on mixed economy, because here's the issue with free market. So with a free market, like we said, there's no government intervention, so they get their money through private means, and they can charge however much they want to. If they want to charge, if Walmart wants to charge $20 for toilet paper, but Target still wants to get people to buy their toilet paper, they might charge for $15. But then Walmart's going to keep on lowering their price and all that. But the problem with that is both of the companies have to purchase the goods for them to sell them.
Yeah.
And so if they're charging at too low of a price, then they have to purchase it, then they're going to go out of business.
Yeah, those are
And that's where the monopolies come in, because it forces certain companies out of business. Because even if they don't decide to go that low, then people will not be buying that product, and they will still go out of business eventually. So it's kind of like, it's just...
Yeah, if it's not good competition, monopoly is inevitable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's the word. It's inevitable. So
Okay,
that's
Casey,
why...
man.
That's why I think that having that regulation is good, but only to an extent, because even now, I mean, a lot of our goods and services, they're priced well. Like not everything. Some things are overpriced, not everything's overpriced, but things are in a good place and stuff.
In America,
Plus,
at least,
yeah, and then you have the tax and all that. So that regulation is good to an extent, but I still feel like companies should have kind of the ability to an extent, control their company, because they have to follow a lot of strict rules and regulations and a whole bunch of all this other stuff, and it's kind of losing them control. So basically all they have is their name on a building.
Yeah.
And control of who works for them.
Yeah, true. And this is why people come up with the idea like rich people are Republicans, because I mean we know conservatism is towards the free market side. So whenever you're running a business or something, you want to be able to function as your own entity and be the most efficient and the most innovative company that you can be. Now, obviously, we know that we can't just let companies do whatever they want. They definitely need regulations.
Right. Yeah.
But this is why they're like conservative leaning, because they want to be able to have as much control by themselves as they can have. Also, with monopolies, as you were saying, we were talking about private companies becoming monopolies, but we could also have the state-controlled monopolies. And so if we get too far on the other side, on the left of the socialistic and like government-controlled, we can get to where there's a state-controlled monopoly. So let's say that for me personally, and NASA is great in their own regard, but let's just take NASA out of the picture. Let's just say that in some country they have their just government space company, right? And they could be a space monopoly, in fact, that they don't like intake the wants of the consumer, and they can just be like, oh, well, I mean, we found water on the moon, but we have no plans of going to Mars and interstellar travel and all that stuff. They can have a stranglehold on the consumer too.
Just a market dictatorship.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
And what was I gonna say? I don't even know. But Casey, I want to give you credit because me and Caleb are taking the class and you're talking on par with us.
Yeah, man, you already know.
Self-study is a thing.
Yeah, hey, economics is a great thing, and what we need, on some Alexander Hamilton stuff, man. Like, you need to come. We need thinkers, man. We need you to come with some ideals. Like, there's a lot of inner workings within our economy because there's so many like contradicting things within. Like, oh, you want like people talk about people that are left leaning say that the government needs to help the common man more, but if you want the government to do anything, you need to tax people more. So like that contradictory there is what outlines economics. So yeah, man, it's great stuff. I got anything else to bring on that though?
No, I think that's all.
Words. It's been wordy so far. I'm not. What's our time right now?
We are at hour 17 minutes.
An hour 17 minutes of wordy nonsense. Well, not nonsense, enlightenedness. But let's get into the fun stuff. Debate of the day.
Debate of the day. Before we go into the debate, I just want y'all to know, like, Casey, he's doing a great job here. So, again, make sure you go check out A Gap in the World. Maybe on his next episode, wink, 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 he can go even deeper and talk about, A Gap in the World's great when it comes to politics, but you seem to have a grasp on this economic stuff. So maybe you have a concentration on economics, or maybe a certain day in the week you talk about economics.
Casey,
Maybe that's the central idea of the next season.
Could you enlighten me on what platforms your podcast is available on?
Oh yeah.
I'm available on a whole bunch of podcasts. So my main website is on Anchor, or my main platform is Anchor, and through there you can access my podcast through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, a whole bunch of other podcast platforms that I've never heard of, like Castbox.
Yeah.
What is Castbox?
Even we're on some stuff. Even we're on platforms that I never knew about, like.
I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on this thing called Podbean. I never even heard of Podbean. Yeah,
I'm not even on Podbean.
People are we out there, right? Like we're out there, but I mean, shoot, we got some more exit stuff for Casey on the way too. So we'll say that at the end after the debate. So yeah, let's get into debate time.
Silverback gorilla versus a bear.
So yeah,
Let me start.
Silverback gorilla versus a bear. Who wins? Wait,
that's easy.
Can I put some pictures up here? I'm talking to Caleb in the future, or through the screen. I'll be talking to Caleb of the present, so I am Caleb from the past.
Shut up.
Anyways,
Silverback up here and a bear up here.
He said
so
picture,
people
picture.
can know. Yeah. Put the pictures up there, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Silverback gorilla. And all right, what do you guys think?
gorilla.
Just because of the bipedalism of a gorilla, outside of that, the ability to walk and stand, I think, kind of puts you up against.
I think it would be very close. So, I can argue a bear because I've seen bears. All right,
I've seen them too at a zoo. Your point?
I've seen them in the wild.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Actually, one on my trampoline.
he's from the trenches.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
but anyway, bears are huge, man. Gorillas are huge as well, but bears, in terms of size, are way
Bears are
bigger
huge.
than silverback gorillas. I said bears are huge too. I mean, gorillas are huge too. Excuse me, but bears are much larger in size than silverback gorillas. They're hunting animals. They're carnivores, straight or omnivores. Excuse me, since they like salmon a lot. They go river fishing. But
Wait,
that's
what?
besides the point.
Dude, no, wait, hold on, wait. What are you talking about?
Isn't an omnivore both?
Yeah,
Am I
that's-
tripping?
That's both meat and vegetables.
Oh yeah, I'm tripping.
What are you talking? You were thinking like
I was thinking.
You were thinking like pescatarian.
Yeah, pescatarian.
Why would a fish is meat?
I'm tripping. They're just carnivores. But anyway, yeah, bears, huge claws, and
They
even
are
if they
omnivores, by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
Huh?
They are omnivores, by the way. They
Oh.
eat berries and stuff.
Oh, so Caleb
They
was
do.
wrong. Okay.
Yeah,
I said that-
I'm
no,
still tripping twice
You were
because I was
yeah,
right.
Yeah, you
But
were
I
right.
thought
you
I
were
was
tripping
wrong.
about the salmon stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but anyway, they got claws, so they'll cut you up. And even if they don't use their claws, they got them heavy hands. You feel me?
The heavies.
And we're not even talking about them sharp teeth that can freaking bite into metal beams. I'm not sure they can do that, but I'm sure. Whatever. All right, silverback gorillas.
What do you think?
I think.
Wait. You picked a bear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I think a gorilla. Okay, whenever I hear this debate, I first think of I don't even think silverback. I just think gorilla versus bear.
In a coliseum.
Okay, and then you have
Relative.
the bear. The bear standing on his feet, big. He's
Wait,
big.
They
a
can
bear?
stand
Yeah, the
on
bear.
their feet
The
and
bear.
Oh yeah, they can stand.
Yeah, they
be up
stand
close.
and
But they're
crawl.
usually on all fours.
True, but so are gorillas.
Yeah.
But I think gorillas, aren't their legs more powerful?
Yeah, they got that lower center of gravity.
Yeah, so they can like get up, use their hands, and they can use their feet, even though it's all I don't even know what they're technically called.
Yeah.
But they can use kind of all of their fours. While gorillas, I mean, not gorillas. While bears, can bears really stand on their hands and use their feet?
I don't think.
yes, they
I
can.
I don't know if.
I don't know. They can't run on their feet.
Yeah.
But they can. They can turn, twist.
Yeah.
All of that.
But
Right.
how I picture it is, I don't know if a bear has the ability to like catch something and swing through its hips and throw. Like, not saying the gorilla will catch the bear and throw it, but like, what? Okay, that's weird. Our guest has put back on his mask, but
You good, bro?
yeah, he's in some weird state.
Kind of creeping me out, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, man. I'm chilling.
Spooky.
I'm chilling.
Take that thing off, man. But
No.
as I was saying, I don't know. I just think the ability of the gorilla to grasp something, because like the bear, when I picture its hands, I just picture it as like big clubs. Like, even though it has hands and it can grab a little bit, I don't know if it has the dexterity as a gorilla might to be able to grab something. But I mean, look, bro, it's gonna be a vicious fight.
I
Regardless.
think a bear is more sturdy, would be able to take more hits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so basically what you guys are saying is silverback's more agile, able to use their body, dexterous. But I think a bear is going to deal those heavy blows, and it's only a matter if the bear's going to deal the heavy blows, and they're pretty like sturdy.
Yeah.
They can take the blows. So we're talking about basically a strong cheetah versus hold on. Let me relate it to other animals, because let's say the silverback has the speed and the agility.
Okay.
A strong cheetah, because they're not weak by any means, versus a well-built, heavy-hitting lion. And I still do believe that the heavy.
I don't even know if they can hear you, bro. Take that off. I don't even know if they can hear you.
Man, anyways, when you put it that way, then the lion's going to beat the cheetah. Actually, I don't know, because the cheetah do got the speed.
So it's just if
it would be close.
It's
It'd be
if
close.
the bear is able to hit those attacks, get them in on the silverback before the silverback slowly whittles it away. It's not even gonna be slow, because I'm like lowballing the strength of a silverback, but they're freaking strong.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think because when it comes to heavy hits, the silverback, and I think I think a silverback gorilla can take some heavy hits too.
Yeah.
Like that's an honestly tough fight, man. I don't know. Actually, I have another debate in mind. I was thinking of this. If y'all want to move on real quick, Yindub, Cappity Cap Casey, host of all the above, host of a Gap in the World podcast. I've recently became familiar that you're a Harry Potter fan.
How did you recently become familiar with that?
I was just at your house.
God Brothers or something?
Yeah, I was at your house and I saw you watching Harry Potter. But quick question: do you watch Star Wars?
No.
Good.
We can go with Harry Potter.
No. Here's the thing: what I want to debate, a Jedi versus a wizard.
Easy, Jedi. A Jedi's a space wizard with a sword.
Okay, how can you say something about space wizards when you don't
you
even
can't
want to
even
explore
talk about
space?
space.
You
You
can't
do not
talk
get to
about
talk
that.
about space.
No,
We're talking
no.
Real quick.
Nothing to do
No.
with the ocean at all.
No, real quick.
I
Here.
said I wasn't a space
I got
hater.
an even better debate.
I said I wasn't a space hater.
I got an even better debate. I'm the Jedi, Casey's the wizard, and Emery's a shark or a fish or some dumb crap.
Are you stupid?
You get
At
water.
least make me an ocean wizard.
Yeah, you get no. What? There's no such thing as an ocean.
So why am I
wizard.
just a shark? Obviously, a normal wizard's gonna take out a shark.
Okay, but a wizard's gonna take out a Jedi too. And let me explain.
Okay, go
y'all
ahead.
Jedis, y'all got your zooms, your lightsabers, whatnot. But wizards got the wand. Oh, that spell, bro. Your lightsaber's gone, bro.
So,
Whatever the spell's called.
You know what you're
boom.
not taking into account?
The Force.
The most powerful entity in the universe.
I'm
the
gonna
Force.
choke you so you can't even cast a spell, dog.
The Force. Yeah, you can use, for one, with whatever spell you're trying to throw at me, catch it with the Force. Avada Kedavra, catch that with the Force. Reverse it back.
Abracadabra.
No.
Open sesame.
We said wizards, not
But-
magicians. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's disrespectful
It's the
as
same
hell.
thing.
man.
No, it's not. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, but the Jedi, I feel like they're also more physically adept to a fight. So if a Jedi's close range with the lightsaber, it's done. The upper limits of a Jedi goes past what Albus Dumbledore and Voldemort have been able to get to, in my belief. Now, what Voldemort was able to do with the Horcruxes and the multiple, spreading his life out amongst multiple things, that's like a great thing. But yeah, man, I don't know. A Jedi's power is just, it's insane. It's
And they're
insane what they can
trained
do.
fighters, not just
Yeah,
sorcerers.
but okay, but a wizard could catch a Jedi off guard, cast a curse on him, and if he tried to strike, dead.
Now that's the thing. And when we do any of these fighting debates, here's the issue. It's like a real world fight or a Coliseum fight. Because if you just do a Coliseum and you
gotta
have
think Coliseum.
if you do but here's the thing, like if you present it as here's Harry Potter and then here's Obi-Wan Kenobi, the wizard's kind of at a disadvantage. But if it's just like a fight like within a storyline and somebody the wizard catches a Jedi with Crucio, I mean, it's up. Now the only thing there is the Jedi are the most mentally strong beings ever. So spells like that.
Not if he's drunk. He's partying with his girl.
Yeah, well, yeah. If he catches him lacking like that, then he's.
You just want to put him at every single disadvantage possible.
Yeah.
Yep. Wizards all the way. I don't care.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I don't know. That's what do y'all think, man? Like
A Jedi.
I mean, I think Jedi.
And if they have the protection of the Force,
yeah,
then that's another thing as well.
Well, yeah, that is the issue. There's two different universes because there is no Force in the Harry Potter universe. But
right.
I still think, depending on the range, even if a Jedi without the Force could possibly be able to take out a wizard, still.
There's no such thing as a Jedi without the Force. I mean, that's just like.
Well, I mean, a person wielding a lightsaber.
Lightsaber? Okay. Oh, dang, that would be. Hey, yeah. I mean, there's some people that are kind of like Force sensitive, but they're not as adept to the Force as like a Jedi. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's definitely there. Shoot, while we're just doing debates here, like, what's the better movie series? I also believe Star Wars, but when it comes to movies,
Star Wars is the better movies.
When I become
movie series,
yeah, when I come to like. This, like, just watching it, Star Wars and Harry Potter is like 1A, 1B for me.
What y'all know about Back to the Future?
Okay, but real quick on that one, I've watched maybe part of one Star Wars movie. I didn't really like it, but I mean, it's uncomparable.
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
Well, the only thing is, what Harry Potter does, it's better at. I don't want to say it's better at relating to people, but there are like more. They're all humans.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's more relatable.
Yeah. It's more. Yeah. It's more
between
relatable.
the two.
Yeah. It's more relatable for sure. Yeah. Back to the Future.
That's a good film series.
Yeah. Back to the Future is definitely good. Obviously, it's incorrect in many ways when it comes to time travel. Because the whole idea of you talking to yourself and that messing up your timeline, actually a misconception.
I have a good one when you're done.
Okay, yeah, it's actually a misconception. Like, and time travel is absolutely possible. We don't know if time traveling back to the past is necessarily possible, but if you do time travel to the past, doing that is your future. So if you go back to your past and do something. That's not going to affect your present. It's really hard to. I need a pencil and paper to really talk about. But I mean, they talked about this in Avengers Endgame. Going back to the past isn't going to necessarily do anything. And like I said, within quantum realities, that is now your own reality. So time may fork. I talked about this in episode 5 or 3, I believe. So, but yeah, I mean. There's a lot of stuff there. But yeah, go ahead. Bring us your debate.
You actually mentioned it when you said Avengers Endgame. Who do you think is the most powerful Avenger?
Now, that's the
We
question.
already did this,
nah,
but I won't do
Go
it
ahead.
again.
Go ahead.
And I'm not talking about like all the newer ones. Like actually, yes. Yeah.
Does Captain Marvel?
No, we'll do just the original Avengers because no Captain Marvel or no Black Panther.
Okay,
so we have Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow,
Thor, Hawkeye,
Hulk,
and then
Hawkeye.
Oh, Hawkeye, that's his name.
Okay.
So them.
Go first.
I think Thor.
Thor. No, Hulk.
Okay, why
Excuse me, Hulk. I'll let you go first. Then I'll explain Hulk.
Yeah.
Man. Gosh, because Thor has that Mjolnir, man. Thor has Mjolnir. Thor's a bad dude. I really have a hard time contending a Norse god. It's hard for me to do that.
You can choose Thor. It's cool.
I want to choose Thor, but hey, dog. Since you got Thor, you got Hulk. I'm going with Iron Man.
Okay, as long as you didn't say Captain America, he's like
I'm
the
going with Iron
But-
Man.
Easy.
But
Let's take their comic counterparts instead of like the MCU. Just these characters in general, though.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. And this is kind of like the Batman versus Superman take. With Iron Man, I feel like with the brain is your most powerful asset. I feel like he will be, and this is a real world fight, because if you put him in a Coliseum, Thor, hands down. But in a real world fight, I believe Iron Man will be able to devise something that will be able to compete with Thor, like he did with Hulkbuster.
I believe that even in the Coliseum setting, it would be the Hulk.
Okay.
Well, you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Let me get into it, because it was stated in the comics, that the Hulk's power is infinite. It's limitless, and that is because the strength that he gets.
Oh, gamma radiation.
Is gamma radiation, and it's based on how angry he gets. The angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. So, if there's not even a way to measure
that's like
capacity.
World Breaker Hulk,
Yeah,
right?
there's not even a way to measure the capacity of anger that somebody could have. So let's take this World Breaker Hulk into as an example. If he's like, I don't know, let's 10.3 times 10 to the negative 97 scientific notation of anger, or something.
Yeah.
It's just he's infinitely powerful.
No, I agree with that. I mean, gamma radiation is the
can't.
most powerful energy we have when it comes to electromagnetic radiation.
So, Casey, you wanted to clap back?
That's a great point. And
Yeah, that is a good
I
point.
actually want to go to the comic book store we have in Jacksonville, and I'm about to really dig in deep to these comics because, that's a great point. Man, unfortunately, you guys have lost a good 10 minutes of perfectly amazing Marvel conversation.
All right.
But you know what? I'm not that mad at it because it's just going to have y'all want to come back for more. So, yeah, I don't know where I'm going to stop the edit on the last one. But, yeah, y'all, there's some lost files in the Enlightened Brothers universe that y'all have missed. But you know what? That is okay. But you know what? We're going to wrap things up here, man. If you want to hear us talk more about Marvel, we're going to have Casey on plenty of other times for guest episodes. After we get through a few more guests, Casey is the first on the list to come back and back and back and back again. He is going to be our most frequent recurring guest, it seems so. This has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I thank y'all. Emery, you got anything to say? Wrap it up?
Casey, you tune into the podcast. You already know what time it is.
Oh, crap. No. Wait.
You know what time it is,
No,
don't
this
you,
is a
Casey?
guest episode.
No.
This
No.
is
No. We're doing this.
I forgot about this thing.
Come on.
man.
You know the drill. Casey, I'm going to lead. I'll pass it off to you. Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on.
I'm not doing this.
You are doing
No,
it.
I'm not.
You are.
Nope.
It's
This
tradition.
episode's not going live
Nope,
if you
nope,
don't
nope.
do it.
It's tradition.
Come on.
Nope.
Caleb, hit the beat. Burn it all.
You already know I'm the beat master, so let's get it, man.
I'll pass it off to you.
Fresh, y'all.
This is embarrassing on a whole nother level.
Boom.
Enlighten.
Boom.
Enlighten brothers on the beat.
Boom.
Cap Casey to my right. And Caleb to the other right. And we're partying all night. Episode 7, you know that we gotta get right. I'm on the beat.
Halloween night.
Better to pass it to KC. He the MC. Go crazy, KC, you the A.
It's Halloween night.
Mm.
That'd be Universal night.
Hey. Okay. Hey.
Emery has a gap in his teeth.
Okay. Yeah, I got a gap.
Oh, cut the beat. Hit
No,
it. No, give me a freestyle right now. No beat.
No,
beat.
I'm
Give me
already
a freestyle.
bad on a beat.
No
Now you
beat.
expect me to
Off
freestyle?
beat.
No.
Freestyle right
No,
now.
you might
Give
as well
it to
just.
us.
You might as well just not
DJ
even air this.
You don't got the
DJ
juice like
Casey
me.
in the building.
I don't freestyle.
You
I don't do
juice
anything.
like me.
Oh, he don't get
It's
the
alright.
juice.
No, bro. I mean, you were repeating words.
You know, why am I still doing beats? I've learned how to edit good enough now. Can't I just find a beat off the internet and put
But
behind?
it's gonna be hard to sync it with my fresh flows.
You're right.
Cause it's crazy. Cause you already knows I don't need a beat to goes. Crazy on the beat. Cause I don't need a beat.
Uh-huh.
I'm about to
He
rub your
literally just said the
About-
same
Better rub
thing.
your feet.
About to rub some feet.
Okay.
About to eat meat. Call
Okay.
it chicken. No wang.
Yeah.
Call it jelly. My peanut butter thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And I need some Aquafina. Cause you know that it's the best water that you can find in the arena.
No.
Okay, no,
And
that
I'm
was a good one. That was a good one.
Donatello, a good fellow, green and yellow, but this is real purple. and we're gonna go somewhere else.
Okay, it's time to end it.
I just wanted to say thank you for having me on the episode today, and I hope to return soon.
All right. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for listening, man. I hope y'all enjoyed Casey as much as we have.
Appreciate you coming in, family.
We're going to do lots of guest episodes. We're still trying to figure out if we're going to do just me and Emery episode 1 day a week and then a guest episode, and we're going to figure out how the timetables are going to go. But regardless of all that, we got that handled. All I want to do is just thank y'all for listening. I want to say that I truly love y'all, and I love y'all for allowing us to talk about this stuff that we do.
Appreciate you guys so much. Can't even put it into words. Casey, have you been enlightened today?
I have been enlightened.
I've been enlightened as well.
I've been enlightened as
Once
well.
again, I would like to thank these two fine gentlemen, the Enlightened Brothers, for having me on the episode today. Make sure you do go check out A Gap in the World. And that's all I have to say. So
Anytime, man.
Episode 7. See y'all next week. Gonna be just us solo. The week after that, another guest. We're gonna bring it in, but the heat is coming.
The heat don't stop. It's in the books.
Appreciate you.